What's going on, guys? It's Greg here. Just going eagle watching today here in upstate New York in the Catskill Mountains. There's a huge power line behind me here. It's a very secluded area, so I hope I see some eagles, and I'll try to get some video footage of it for you guys, and maybe I'll see a bear or two. So I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far, and I'll keep you guys posted on the eagles. Found this nice little waterfall here. Look at this clean water. Beautiful woods. A lot of birch and hemlock here. You can see all the white birch. Nice area. This is what the scenery looks like over here in the Catskill Mountains of New York. A lot of hemlocks here. In the Catskill Mountains, there's a lot of hemlocks. Back in the day, they used to cut the hemlocks down and use them for tanning of leather. So a lot of the hemlocks were killed off. A lot of the old hemlocks were killed off, but since they made the Catskills into a private public preserve, a lot of the hemlocks are starting to grow back again. And there's a lot of these big hemlocks, as you see here. Good size hemlock. So it's a very nice tree. And just look at that nice water here. Really beautiful, beautiful area. Maybe I'll see a Bigfoot. I don't know. I'm hoping I see a Bigfoot. We'll see. Some strange shaped rocks here. They're very geometric shapes. Very interesting. A lot of granite around here. Very geometrically shaped. This is just wanted to show you guys an example of an area that you can make improvised shelter. And I'm going to do more wilderness survival, but this is like a really good campsite right here. If you were in the woods, I'll explain to you why this is a good campsite. Let's say you're in a survival situation and I had to camp out here. This is a really good area because I have water right down there. I don't know if you guys could see the stream from here, but I have a river right there. And if you look over here, I have a water source, but also there's a lot of hemlocks up here. If you look up top, these are all hemlocks, so they provide like a natural roof over your head. And then down here you have these boulders, which kind of create like a little circular, kind of like a good camping area here. And so with the hemlock, you got the big hemlock here, and that's a pretty big hemlock. You know, that provides cover for from the weather up top, from the snow. And then here in the middle, you could build a campfire. You could build a campfire right in the middle, and the rocks will reflect the heat back onto you. And you really don't have to do anything. There's no building. I don't need to build anything. You know, the rocks are going to reflect the heat back from the rocks. You know, and they're very flat shapes here. As you can see, it's a very flat shape. So you could build a campfire right in there. And the heat is just going to come back towards me. I could lay down right here on top of the leaves, and the leaves will insulate my body heat. And also the rocks around on the outside are going to protect me from the wind. If there's any kind of wind or any kind of windstorm, You know, these rocks in this circular area here, they're going to provide shelter from the winds and also from observation. You know, the rocks are going to break up my my fire. You know, if I'm building a fire, you're not going to see the fire. If, let's say, somebody's moving through this area over there somewhere in the open woods out there, and I'm behind these rocks, they're not going to know that I'm here, you know, because I got this natural camouflage, natural concealment, and it'll conceal my fire nicely. And then I have the water source right nearby. So this is a good example of how you don't need to always, you know, build shelters. You know, you have all these survival instructors now that tell you that you have to build a huge shelter and spend, you know, 2-3 hours building a shelter. You just have to use what's around you to your advantage. You know, you don't need to be building much. So just want to show you guys some of the scenery. It's really beautiful here. Very beautiful area. So there are black bears and coyotes over here, but there aren't anything else as far as I know. There could be the occasional mountain lion possibly, but other than that, you know, there's not that many other animals. Just love that waterfall. It's really nice. Really nice water here. So you always want to try to be pretty close to a water source, and really good survival area. You know, this is that shelter area. Again, you can see the hemlock tree right on top, which is going to provide a shelter over your head, and then these rocks around it will make like a natural little nook that you could build your fire in. So just wanted to show you guys that quickly, and that's pretty much it. It's a little bit windy here today, as you can see on the trees are blowing around a little. So luckily it's warm. It's about 60 degrees. Very warm weather today. So that's the story over here. Driving through the Catskill Mountains in New York State, en route to a bald eagle viewing site. Oh wow, look at that big quarry. Wow, that's huge. Oh my gosh. We're en route to a bald eagle viewing site here. So we're just showing you what the scenery looks like here in the New York State area. Most of the tree cover here is a mixture of white pines, hemlocks, with some rhododendrons and mountain laurel, and then we got some deciduous trees here as well. We have beech and birch, a lot of beech and birch trees, and some oaks as well, and sugar maples. This is a more colder part, so there's not as many warm weather tree species here. It's more of the conifers here. Hemlocks and white pines pretty much dominate, and then some birch and a little bit of maples mixed in, some oaks, some ash. So a lot of good firewood here too. This area has a very dense bear population, black bears. They routinely see and shoot, you know, 500+ pound black bears in this area. In this area of New York, the bears get really big here, just because they don't have any competition and there's a lot of food sources. So Alright guys, we made it to the eagle viewing area here. So the eagles like to land on this lake, and they like the white pines on the side of the lake. So we'll park here and see if we can't see anything. And there's this little, you can see the terrain here, it's all white pines. This area close to the public, this area is critical to the welfare of resident eagles. So you can see all the white pines up here. They like to nest in those white pines. They create little nesting sites in the pines right along the water, and you know, that's where they hang out and look for fish in the lake. There she is, look. Wow. It's catching a fish. You see that? Look. Incredible. Oh my God. was crazy before. There were like 5 eagles. There must be some fish over here, a school of fish. They're just hanging out. You can see they're all sitting on the trees up there. Because now the fish get active because it's getting darker. So they have their eyes peeled. They're looking for any. Oh, there we go.